to get my Twitch up so I could see chat and stuff.
Well, you're going to be able to do that right now because we are live. So this is a little bit of a special stream tonight because we're switching up things a little bit, and we're going to be working on Necropolis from now on. Wednesdays, Thursdays is Necropolis night. Secondly, holy heck, Princess Strega and Wargaming Recon. How the hell did you even get in here before us? And thirdly, but by no means leastly, we got a special guest. We have Mark Reed from Noble Dwarf themselves with us tonight. Hey Mark, how you doing, man?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me.
I am jazzed. I am so super jazzed. And honestly, you cool kids out there, wait till I show you the shit that you're going to see that Mark's got in the hopper. And I mean this, okay? You're going to get a pen and paper out, because you're going to want to start to make notes for what Noble Dwarf are coming out with this year. Okay, I promise you that. So, Mark, what... Actually, Mark, before we get into this, show everyone what you had delivered today. Show them this thing. Show them this potion bottle.
This is the Magical Draft of Happenstance, which was our last Kickstarter, and it just delivered 2 days from the factory. And when you turn it upside down, it has the 20 random potions that pop up like a magic 8-ball. So
that is incredible.
Yeah, I am so happy. And the way it comes displays beautifully. But this is a good LARP piece as well, because you can lightly carry it. We had leather carriers made by Merchant Green Leather Works for us, but this thing is just too cool. And
I gotta be honest with you, man. That's like better than I thought it was gonna be. That's just outstanding.
Thank you.
And you said it's got 20 potions in it?
Yeah, so what's inside there is a standard D20. It's just a floatable D20. So they're printed on top are all the potion things. And then we're including cards that will explain the potions. But you can always change to make your own versions.
That's nuts. That's nuts. It just looks so good.
Thank you. I got 7 pallets of them today, so that was my workout, my cardio.
So how many of those suckers have you got to ship out?
We sold 1,129 in the Kickstarter, and then we've sold another couple hundred in the pre-order. So it's just under 2,000, just under 1,500 rather, getting shipped out right now. And then, of course, we have all the ones that we're going to be taking to the conventions and such.
That's nuts. So you said pre-orders. Are people going to be able to find them on the site?
Well, right now they're available still on the backer kit, but yeah, these are going to go on the site. I'm obviously kind of limiting that until I ship to my backers. Like, backers will get theirs before pre-orders kind of thing.
So Wargaming Recon wants to know when it will be for sale on the web store.
Should be in March. End of February time frame is when that one will come, because that's when I'm shipping these out to everybody so that we can launch the next Kickstarter.
And that's why I told all of you out there, by the way, to get a pen and paper and write this stuff down. Okay? Because that's item number 1, and Mark has even better stuff to show us. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. Princess Strega said, can it actually be filled with liquid? I think it is already, but Mark?
It has a liquid chamber inside. This is what actually holds the D20 inside of a magic 8-ball. And so there's this, but the bottle itself does not come apart. It can't have that. And that's because this is technically classified as a toy, and we don't want anybody to go too far and then get sick or something. So it's a liability issue of why we can't have it hold real liquid.
All right. It looks freaking awesome. It looks freaking awesome. It really does. All right, so that was your last Kickstarter. Sounds like it did pretty damn good. Tell us about the next Kickstarter that you have coming up.
So this bottle is 20 potions. It's about 10 and 10 as far as the split, but the Malice potion bottle is definitely all evil. It's going to be 20 negative potions and spell effects, and it comes in that beautiful skull bottle that I've showed off a couple times. And the first stretch goal after that is called the Magical Draft of Virtue, and so that'll be a third bottle shape. It's more prismatic and diamond shape, and it has 20 positive potions in it. So then you'd have a 3 set of potion bottles, and you as the player, the GM, could pick whichever one you're using in that moment.
So these are all on it. When is your next Kickstarter?
March 2nd is when we launch that. March 2nd, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Make a note, folks. Make a note. March 2nd. Can I actually... Is this video that you shared with me part of this?
Yeah. I literally just got it from Selena, so please, let's...
All right, so Mark is a professional videographer, is that what it would be called? Who's created the video for his Kickstarter. I'm going to share it with you all right now. We're going to get to see this thing exclusive. I'm going to drop this on the main screen here. Can I actually zoom in on this at all? Let's just zoom in. Let's make sure that it's coming through loud and clear. There we go. Look at that. We're going to get to watch this video together. This is a first. I haven't even seen this thing yet. I'm not even sure Mark has seen this particular iteration. Let's go.
Oh, there's no volume on it. That's the only thing, is there's no audio.
There was a little bit of volume there. I'm gonna play that sucker again. Let's hit rewind on this. Coming March.
Well, yeah, it's great even without the audio. Let me try and fix my mic real quick.
I'm definitely hearing audio, by the way. I'm definitely hearing audio. What about the crowd? Yeah, see, Magnificent Pecs heard the laugh at the end.
Okay, great. Yeah. So that is actually Selena's laugh, so it's coming perfect.
I feel like we're doing an unboxing video here. I'm going to hit play again. This is, again, a Kickstarter coming early May from Noble Dwarf. They did one late last year for potion bottle. That literally, you shake the potion bottle, you look at the bottom, random potion. Looks awesome. So this is one that they've got coming up. It's called Malice. And so we've got this potion bottle here. Then that... Oh, let me just rewind real quick, because that was quick. Stretch goal is this one. Mark, tell us about this potion bottle right here.
So that's the Magical Draft of Virtue. And
okay.
Like I said, it's going to have 20 all positive potions in that. So when you need something on the buff side or along that nature, that's the bottle you're going to reach for.
So the first one is all bad. This one is all good. These are collectibles. These are seriously awesome. And what's this one right here then? The fireball. What's going on with this one?
So that's going to be the third stretch goal. The second stretch goal will be the D20 with a D20 inside. And then the fireball, that's going to have 20 spell effects inside of it. So you really are just going to be able to have that in the palm of your hand and cast random spells.
Mark's pretty quiet, everyone says.
Yeah, I moved my mic. Did that help any better? I moved it up.
And so Wargaming, I can do it in OBS, but this is our standard volumes that we normally run with. So I'm happy to increase Mark, but answer his question to see if that actually helped at all. Okay, well, I'll up Mark. Oh, you know, I'll up Mark. I'll up Mark. Mark, give me a sound check.
How's that? Is that better for everyone?
All right, I just up Mark to my levels. You know why? Because Mark's on the music channel. So let's do this again. I'm going to play this sucker all the way through. March 2nd. You don't get the cackle unless you pay extra. I'm just gonna rewind to. I want to just point out, by the way, too. I love this design. I love this design. Who designed this?
That was done by our artist in Italy, Il Covo Art. Created our potion bottle prototypes for us.
I love this almost claw coming around the side here.
Well, what's really neat is it's going to ship where the cork and the bottle themselves are separate, so you'll really be able to paint and get thoroughly underneath and everything. Otherwise, if they were connected, you'd be in trouble. So you'll have to glue them on after the fact. But it's a beautiful piece.
It's incredible. I love it.
I don't have them because literally the videographer has everything.
Can you
lay down?
Can you show everyone the D20 that you showed me earlier? Is that okay for you to do that?
So this is going to be a really neat piece because it's going to be, sorry, brain's not working. It's a D20 shape with a 1 through 20 die inside. And it's going to be completely clean colors. The underlying color will be white and the outer color will be black, but you're not going to have to paint anything. You're not going to have to mess with this one at all. It'll come straight out of the package. Perfect.
That's beautiful, man.
Thanks. This is one of our more requested editions. You know how dice goblins are. They just come out of the woodwork.
So what's going to be in that one, Mark? So we've got the potion of malice, which is all bad. We've got the potion of virtue, which is all good. We've got the fireball, which is going to be random spell effects. What's in the D20?
1 through 20.
Just 1 through 20. So you literally have a big dice in your hand like this. You shake it, and you look at the bottom, you get your result.
A little dot.
You know, I think I'm going to have to get a full set of these damn things. That sounds so good. It's like, yeah, I'm a mage. The chaos mage. I'm going to cast prismatic spray. You can't even cast that. It's on the bottle. I love it.
Well, what's really neat is we were able to write them as complete magical items in the game. So there's real lore that comes with them. B. Dave Walters is actually writing an adventure for the first one, and I'm hoping he'll come in and be able to do the one for Malice as well. So it's not just another prop or table sitter. It's like everything, and can really be used a lot. It's got a good replayability in it.
Can you then explain to everyone? And by the way, I'm going to give a little bit of context here, and then Mark, I want you to explain to everyone or fill in the details that I don't do. But Noble Dwarf, you all know that I did a map for Noble Dwarf called Light Harbor, okay? But this is way more than just a map for Noble Dwarf. And Noble Dwarf, if you go to the store, they have all of these Orpherics on there, the folks in top hats and things like that. And they've got a full range of characters beginning to appear. And that's because they're way, way, way more than just a merchandising store. Mark, could you tell us a little bit about what these are all about? You said that there's a story behind these things. Tell us a little about this world you're creating.
Thank you. Yeah, the city of Light Harbor was amazing because that's our hub for everything. And so all of our NPCs and characters have houses that we're in the process of creating the detailed maps for. This backdrop behind me is the potion shop of the gnome alchemist who makes these potions in the story. So it really does tie together. We've got the backdrops. We've got her house. Once we get into the 3D printing on the building side, we will be creating her house to where you'll have that as a battle map 3D printed, all the way down to like we've got these 2 copies of Felissa, and you could see she's just got so much detail in her, and now she's going to be the royal cartographer running around Light Harbor. So we wanted to be able to create all the toys we wanted to have, but have it be a tax write-off.
So, Princess Strega, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to let Mark answer it better than I can. When you say, is my map, or is his setting in support of the Light Harbor, it's kind of the other way around. I've created that map for them in support of their setting. So the miniatures that Mark just held up, the potion bottles, even the artwork that he's got behind, all of this is like, it's their setting, it's their vision. And they've got all of these props and things that are part of it.
Yeah, we love the fact that we're able to dive into Light Harbor so much, because it's the center of our whole world, which is called Calendria. And so there are many regions of it. But if you looked at it like our Light Harbor would be where Waterdeep is, and so it's the hub. It's where most people are going to come. It's where I'm getting to tell my political story that I want to tell, and bring in a lot of the things that I don't see enough of in the games that I end up playing in. And then giving everybody a place to bring in the stuff that they want for their game under whatever circumstance too. So it's an entire 5th edition setting for that. And then we just wanted to go as far down the rabbit hole as we could with each character and each creation, to where, when I'm rich, they'll call it eccentric, I think is what it is.
So Princess, yes. The answer is yes. If you want to be really succinct and abrupt about it, yes. The answer is yes. But if you look at the actual items that Mark is bringing forward, I think it's way more unique than what you typically see out there. Mark, is there a book or writing is also going to be associated with this?
A bunch, yeah. We're working on Light Harbor, which is going to be a full 1 through 20 campaign adventure bit that encompasses our Christmas adventure next year and a few other things. This, like I said, B. Dave is writing the adventure for this, and that's going to come into print hopefully in February. We have the Ships of Light Harbor, which is just a Navy book that I based solely off the ships that we put on that map. And it led me to create the entire Navy for this kingdom in a detail that would make Nelson proud.
Are you going to be 3D printing the ships?
Oh yeah, we've got a few of them already designed. It's kind of hard, because Printable Scenery and so many other companies out there have created some really epic ships. So to come with new ones, they have to be something special. But our big one, the Absolution, was based off of the Victory. So it's really nice to be able to touch on those historical ships and come from that aspect.
Everyone's asking, is this Pathfinder 2 or is this 5e?
Sorry, yeah, it's all 5e, and I know Princess is always wanting about Pathfinder. The problem is there's really only 3 of you that play it, and none of you want to help create it.
Yeah, it's one of those... It's almost sad. It's sad that you can't just almost come up with a universal system or one print fits all, but there is a certain amount of economics to the publishing aspect of it as well. So, I personally get it. And it's not, and I think even if you do a, also compatible with on the front, people don't care about it. If anything, you lose sales. So it's you just got to focus, and there's a certain amount of economics involved.
Yeah. And it's too bad, but the system, I have a hard enough time writing for one, and the cost that I would have to put out to pay somebody. I see Tree. You could send me 200 every month, and we'll just keep you rolling in the product. Oh, GURPS. Yeah, That brings back great memories there.
I've got a copy of GURPS sitting on the shelf behind me. I'm not going to knock GURPS like at all. It's a shame it wasn't a little bit more popular.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely part of my childhood, though, my teenage years. So I loved it. I wish that we could come into more settings, and I think we may grow into it later. But right now, I have to focus just on what I can manage to get people to play test.
And Princess, I know you know this, girl. I know you do because you're a really intelligent woman. But it is a case. And by the way, I've actually been involved with publishing some books directly too, and there's a huge cost to just the writing, stat blocks, a layout, and then the print. And you need to know that you're going to get a return on it. And like 5e, just whether you like it or not, is the leader of the pack right now. That's where you're going to get your sales. And odds on, I want to say, unless you're a big name, if you do a 2e conversion, including all of the printing and the labor costs behind it, or a GURPS version especially, you're never going to get your return. You'd be doing it as a fan service, but I guarantee you'd be losing money.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because, at the end of the day, Mark's a great example who's a hobbyist with us, right? And Mark, I'm sure, would love to do every version under the sun. But it's just not cost effective. Even doing an electronic version, he's still got to pay someone to actually make that electronic version for him. And time.
Yeah, the time. It's a whole lot of time. The big purple building, are you talking about the palace that's in the center? That's King Grayson Bloodthorn lives there, and that's called Bloodthorn Keep. And it has been in the Bloodthorn family since the founding of Light Harbor happened many moon ago. And he is a young ruler who has just come into power within the last couple of years after a failed attempt on the crown for his dad. So it's like they repelled it, but his dad died, and now he stepped up. So it's his progress as a young new leader of how do you take care of a city of people.
And Princess Stricker says, how much open content will there be in Calandria setting book? Wow, Princess, you're really flogging this, right? You really don't want to pick up a 5e book and convert it yourself. Mark, open content. Any?
I'll let Sorogood answer that because he's in the chat.
Sorogood's here? Nice. Yeah. So, Sorogood, if you could maybe cover that. But Princess, come on, let's not flog this one too much. There are certain economics. It doesn't even really matter. I don't even think that this has to be justified, This is coming out for 5e. I think if you have an interest in it, and I certainly think that there's a lot here that should be interesting, I think it's very easy to pick up and then just convert it to whatever you want. That I think is the official position right here. Mark, what else we got going on then?
Well, Wargaming, just so you know, we do have a full interior map of that. And what Alyssa did was shrunk down, and under the glass ceiling part, you can actually see the battle map through the glass. So that was one of the neatest things that went into that map was it took this giant battle map and shrunk it down so you could see this microscopic piece of floor.
Yeah, it's that you can't see it because it prints this big, but we know it's there.
Right. Yeah. It'll be available later. It's not available right this minute as a map. We're still having it all fleshed out, but it's going to be a real nice, pretty one.
Now, you mentioned earlier, Mark, 3D printing buildings. What's that about?
So we have a new software coming out soon that's going to enable us to more efficiently crank out the files needed to 3D print buildings, and we will be going through and starting mostly with our NPC important buildings, but eventually I want to map out the entire city. we're going to be creating the necessary files to build each building, and then those are going to be sold in STL packs for people who want to print their own. So like I will be selling printed versions. If you wanted to buy a copy, obviously I'll print it for you, but if you just want the digital version of that, that's what we're going to be releasing those as well.
So you are literally taking the buildings of the map and making 3D versions of them.
Exactly.
Wow. Now, are you going to do the entire city? Or just the key buildings?
I'm hoping. I mean, it's 2,900 buildings, so it's going to obviously take a while. I think that we have probably 15 or 20 that are key points that need to be made, but they're not all the same architecture style. So it's like we're going to be making a bunch of variations and different things that fit around each one, so you have a whole neighborhood.
So including the little that tri-gate square that we had on the east side there that came out of one of these Twitch streams, you're going to have that 3D printed.
It's going to be fully custom sculpted and all of that. So that's not as easy because that's specific to us, where this other software, it's made, I can crank out warehouses and houses and taverns and things like that, which will be the majority of the buildings. But I think the lighthouse, obviously the square, and a few of the other pieces are going to have to be custom sculpts, which is no big deal. We have a really good sculptor on there.
Yes, you do. So talking of which, is this a good time to talk about the poppable?
Oh, yes, please. I love it. Thank you so much for designing the new one for us, because it's going to be huge. And
I'm gonna actually bring this up. Is this part of the same Kickstarter?
No, so this one will be launching in July, the end of July, beginning of August, and it'll be its own Kickstarter. It's a dungeon popper.
All right. I want to show folks this. And I assume... In fact, tell us about the Kickstarter while I'm bringing up the picture, Mark. The next Kickstarter.
So this is called the Portal of Avistra. And it is a Dragonborn themed dice popper. And what we have there will be a new top piece that will be the stretch goal. So this one will be funding around 10,000, and it's a great popper. You get a custom Dragon Shard dice, D20 in it. They actually come apart so that you can change out the die that's inside of it for whatever you want to put in there. And they're going to be two separate complete poppers, not like they're going to be getting different tops that they only get one bottom. Each unit's going to be its own unit, but the other piece that you designed and that we 3D printed the prototype of, that is going to be called the Portal of Madness, and it is amazing. All those mouths.
So yeah, Noble Dwarf. Actually, let me take a step backwards. That popper is awesome that you just demonstrated. The fact that it actually screws off and you can just put your own die in there, I think is huge. Because immediately when we created the pieces on the screen right now, I want this, but I want to put a percentile in there. I want my Cthulhu percentile in there as a GM or as a keeper. I want to be able to pop it, and that's what I want to use it for. So the fact that I will be able to do that is stunning. But just so everyone in chat knows, Mark invited me to create a Cthulhu-inspired popper design, and look at the sculpt that they came up with from my design. In fact, I wonder if I could find the actual... I'm going to try and find the actual design I came up with here. Did I email this to you, Mark? I forget. I'll actually have to try and find it.
I believe it was an email, yeah.
Yeah. So I came up with a black and white drawing, and they sculpted the sucker. I mean, look at this. This is nuts. My theory was... the bottom here with the Elder sign is kind of the intact piece, and then it starts to tear away, and you start getting into almost these bumps and these eyes and things, which then start to transform into tentacles, which they're wrapped around the sides. And the tentacles then lead up to the Elder God sign at the top there with gnashing mouths. It's stunning. It is stunning.
I love it. It's a great design. He managed to get what you were saying from that description you gave us, and I love it because it wraps around the whole side. Like this one has a brick side design to it, where those tentacles, the eyes, the mouth, they continue over the whole side and wrap around. So it's gonna be really nice. There's a whole bunch of questions in chat I wanted to answer.
Yeah,
though.
do it. Yeah.
Princess, the multiple dice, you're going to have to use smaller ones. And no, I can't make a bigger one because then I have to buy 300,000 pieces of the metal popper bit to make it, because I wanted to do a 3-inch version. And they said, no. So smaller dice. We even had to have our D20 is slightly smaller than like a Kraken D20 actually doesn't work very well in here. But Chessex and ours do. I have minis, the little mini D20 that I have in there. I put 2 of them in for advantage, disadvantage, that kind of stuff. And they're pretty neat. There was another one. Sorry.
No. This is why I love having you on the chat. People are very actively wanting to ask questions here.
There was a Dragonlock question in there, and
yeah, Allah asked.
Yeah.
Will the city be Dragonlock compatible?
So we're using a system called Last Lock, which is actually compatible with all of them. Open Lock, Dragonlock, and the reason we like the Last Lock is that it uses round magnets, and so you don't need any locks. If you're just creating something that you just want to be able to spin around. So yes, we are planning for all of those, because once you've invested in a system, you're right. Who wants to have 15 different clip systems? Wargaming is for 3D printing the terrain. It's the way you lock the bases and the walls together so that they don't move. It's Open Lock was based off of printable sceneries Kickstarters.
And you said that was compatible, though, with Dragonlock?
Yeah. This one that we're using, the bases will actually have the slots that it'll fit any of the clips. So whatever you've got, it'll and go through.
I gotta be honest with you, man. If I ever walk into a convention and you have your entire city of Light Harbor 3D printed on a table somewhere, I might never, ever leave. Because that would just be an incredible sight.
I have fantastical daydreams someday of printing the whole thing at scale. It's pretty massive. I did the math on it, and I don't even want to think about it.
Well, I look forward to the day that we see it. And you actually need a height map out of me related to that.
Yes, definitely. That is one of the first steps will be to get the actual layout topography of that whole cliff region so that we can get everything the right height.
So why do you want the winter version of it? And by the way, so everyone in chat knows, I don't know if you've actually, are you familiar with the Light Harbor map? I think everyone here is at this point. Mark has asked me to do a winter coloring of it, which I think could be really interesting. Mark, what's that for?
So we have an entire adventure called The Mimics Who Stole Christmas. And in that, your party will be teaming up with Dandy Claus to make sure that you save Christmas from all the mimics who have taken over.
I have to zoom in on this. Here. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
That's just nuts. That is just nuts.
And this is really where the company started. I mean, John and I would sit around and be like, oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Okay, well, we got to sell it now because otherwise we can't make it. And now we get to make all these things. So,
and you've got a few of those, right?
As far as the Santa version, it's
Well, no,
just
you got the Santa version, but you've got some other versions.
of the Orpherics. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have 7 so far.
7.
7, and a new female named Margot, who is actually going to be painted by Mocha Minis for us pretty soon on Twitch, and those are going to be really popular because that's got that big umbrella that I showed you that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treebor, yeah, so you've got a resin printer then, Treebor, I'm assuming, if you talk about gloves and all of that sort of jazz. Princess Dragon loves the spectacle on it.
Yeah, the monocle's pretty cool. That guy, Mr. Dandy, is definitely 99% Gene Wilder's Wonka. That's who Mr. Dandy is. And so he has to save Christmas when it becomes imperiled.
By the way, for everyone that saw Jack in the Fez last night, I think Jack's idea was to have the Fez and this little bird here for this one. Yeah, these are just stunning.
That's the Mistrak Dragon, is what that is.
Mistrak Dragon.
Yeah. I love them. It's so cool. We just get to create the crazy stuff that comes out of our grapes.
I can't wait to see you at the conventions when they start up again, hopefully later this year. These things are just going to be head turners. I can't see it being any other way.
Thanks. We're really hopeful. We got okay, so far word is that PAX East will be happening, which comes June 3rd through 6th in Boston. And if that happens, there is a good chance we will be able to get a booth there this year, as we are now publishers and qualify for a booth there. So I'm really hoping that, and then they're also planning to have PAX West. So if they can manage to get those two off, we should be at both. I'm hopeful.
Well, here's to hoping, man. I'm good. Let's tap on board right there. Yeah, here's to hoping. So what else is in the hopper for Noble Dwarf? What's going on?
Oh, lots. The Malice, and then the Popper, the Mimics Who Stole Christmas, and the Ships at Light Harbor. We have the Druid book coming, which is another one of our spell books. Those are the handmade tomes. We've got more artists joining us, like you. We've added more of your maps and mugs and T-shirts and things, and that's really nice. I love the way your mugs have turned out.
Actually, yeah, I should bring that up just so everyone's aware. I've been working closely with Noble Dwarf to try and just create some great products over there. And I think it's under, collections or something, not collectibles. Let's actually go over to my collection. You've got your usual canvas prints here, but you'll notice we've started adding some T-shirts and the likes. And we've got cups over here now. Ta-da! And there is a shark cup. I don't know where it is exactly right now, but there is a shark cup and it looks incredible. So Princess, I think you're the one that requested that. It looks really awesome. If someone could find that and link it in the chat, that would be awesome. I'm going to definitely show you because it looks great.
Well, Wargaming, just to answer that, we are going to be adding the mouse pads and coasters probably in the next year when I can bring another printer in-house. As far as blankets and pillows, you're talking usually a 2,000 minimum piece order for those kind of things, and storing 2,000 pillows is a lot different than one would think. So bedding is not where we're at so far. Although it would be nice to have a giant print of Light Harbor, either as a rug or a blanket. Boy, that's turning out beautiful, Alyssa.
Hey, thank you. Maybe we could even get parts of this printed on cups or canvas prints and so on and so forth. There's some really nice colors and things going on in here. You know,
this would be a map that I would say Frog should put out on a blanket, because it's big enough. You do the whole blanket, but you would get it at a size that you could still see some details.
They're definitely intending to, just like Teagle.
Good. Yeah, we haven't gone there yet, but we would love to. It got to grow into all this stuff, you know.
Hey, okay, so Magnificent Pex just came up with the shark one. Is this a shark one? I thought we did a close-up shark one, but that's not bad. That's not bad.
Oh, sorry. Click on the mug itself. The two little...
You know what? Yeah, you're right. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. I gotta get one of these. I have to get one of these. Look at this thing. It's so good. That looks so good.
Right on.
Yeah. I'll definitely be going to get one of them for myself.
We can fix the shirt picture on that. I see. I forgot to change the cup on that front one. Well,
hey,
thank you.
Rico just bought the shark mug.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's fantastic. I gotta be honest with you. It's almost like I love seeing the full-size maps, but I think some close-ups of certain areas on a cup or a t-shirt almost work better. And the shark definitely is one of those. There's a little story going on in there.
Exactly. Just to let you know, though, Wargaming, there's going to be a slight delay on shipping that, because the minute this stream is over, I'm starting a 16-hour drive, and we'll be back for a week. Or roughly. So as soon as I get back, I will make that mug and ship it out to you. We are going to scatter Magical Draft of Happenstance all across the country. That's what we're going to do.
So what else is going on then, Mark?
Well, I'm talking a lot. Sorry. Let's see. Sorgood, what else we got going on? That's it. Deflect to the other dwarf out there. I'm looking at it.
So the chat knows I actually read the description of this room ahead of time, which is why I know what's going on in here. And so I'm able to kind of get this room together pretty quickly. And I think that room is largely complete. I've got to add a couple more statues to it, get some cobwebs, etc. in there. I'm going to hit save so we don't lose our progress like we did on Sunday.
Oh no, you lost progress Sunday?
Fortunately, it wasn't too much. Photoshop's recovery mode kicked in. I only lost about 5 minutes. But I was partway through these rooms over to the left here. And Photoshop just froze. But Treeball was in chat and he's like, yeah, I think that's a Windows update. Because my system in general was just like beginning to barf. So, but it's all good. I lost a little bit of progress, but in the 18 months I've been doing this, that's only my second Photoshop crash, so that's not too bad.
No, not too bad.
And Treeball says you can tell other people about the private jobs, like the Animator of Greyhawk. I'm not sure if you want to, but you can.
Absolutely, yes. We love printing custom stuff. So when people come up with their own maps or their own character art, we'll print them. I'll put them on mugs, shirts, all of those kind of things. I was fortunate enough to run into Anna at a convention, and we got to talking about that Greyhawk map. It's going to be beautiful. I know you're looking forward to your copy, because that's going to be printed at 14 foot wide, I believe, which is bigger than even my backdrops come. So it's going to be a beast of a map and look just beautiful. Because that's actually how we got started. In D&D was trying to create character t-shirts and things that people could customize for their own campaign and games at a reasonable price, enough that you could do it consistently with new characters. And it kind of branched into the spell books. And since Princess says she loves a druid, there's a spell book for you.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me zoom in on that. Oh, that's a huge book.
Yeah, this is our Gutenberg version. It is a monster, and it holds some gorgeous art uh, from our upcoming Druid spellbook. It's pretty heavy.
Princess Strega, this just has you all over it. Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So you're going to be selling that as well?
Yes. Now there are multiple sizes of that. It actually comes in a small.
Wickle fella.
Excuse me. We wanted the pocket version. This was our cleric spell book, so it has different clerical spells in it. And so we're going to be releasing these later down the road. We just needed to finish up Happenstance, Malice, and the Popper first. I love the colorings that got into some of these.
You and Sorgood have like more ideas than a human being should have. Who's the idea guy, or is it both of you?
It's both of us. We bounce pretty well. I'll come up with something and he'll feed it, and it'll turn into something 10 times bigger than we planned.
You've got so many incredibly cool things. So what is the creative process like for you guys? I mean, how do you sit down and say, okay, let's think of something, or is it literally it just comes to you and you say you're always writing notes down?
For me, it's a lot of it's always coming. I'm constantly listening to the right music and in the right headspace to have the ideas flow in, and I really do sit at my computer from 5 a.m. until I can't stare at it anymore. And so I'm constantly at work. That helps with ideas.
So, okay, I gotta ask you a question. I want to know about the origins of Noble Dwarf. Tell us how it all started and where it's going.
Okay. Let's say that the situation was this. I was printing for my other company called Junk on Your Trunk, which thank goodness is now gone.
Junk on Your Trunk.
Yeah, it was just regular. It was like a t-shirt store that was pop culture and play-ons and things like that. And I got tired of printing for PTA meetings and such. And my buddy John got me into watching Critical Role, and that went down a rabbit hole for a little while, and it kind of motivated me and let me get into a new way of looking at things, and just brought me back to a game I hadn't played in forever. And then it became, well, what can we print and what can we create, and led to what Noble Dwarf is now, which is a print-on-demand place that people can get all their art printed, because I can't draw bad stick figures, but I love printing beautiful art.
And that's how it started?
Yeah, that's pretty much the journey.
And how did you meet Sorgood out of all of this?
Oh, I have known John for 20 plus years. I've known his sister for even longer. And we actually met through Scarborough Renaissance Fair in Texas when I was a young soldier looking for adventure. So I'd go to the Ren Fair about 80 miles away from Post, and that's how I met his sister and friends, and we've just all became family.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So what's the future for Noble? I mean, I know you've got some Kickstarters coming out this year, but what's the vision? To conquer the world with merchandising and awesome calendar and things.
You have no idea. So once we get Light Harbor printed, we're going to paint it, and then I'm bringing in macro cameras and we're going to film it. And then I've already got a line on mocap equipment so that John and I can become CGI'd and play around as a dwarf and a satyr.
That's actually interesting. That's actually really, really, really cool. There was a guy I worked with when I did a Kickstarter a long time ago, and he did the whole inserting himself into like our miniature sort of thing. So we had a war elephant and everything, and he actually was doing a video positioned on top of the war elephant, talking from the is it the howdah or something on the back of it. So you two are actually going to motion capture yourself there. You're going one stage further.
Well, we're gonna try. I mean, you asked what the big goal was, so yeah, the Calendrian movie is definitely on the table, Princess.
Yeah, Peck says go big or go home.
That's right.
And Wargaming Recon says, post, what service were you in?
I was in the Army. I'm medically retired from the Army. Had a lot of fun with that.
And Sorgood is okay taking over a small country. England's small. Take over that. They need straightening out right now.
No. Oh. They need the Queen to step up and take power.
Yeah, we need the Queen back. That's what we do. Yes.
I'm a royalist.
I became a royalist actually when I left England. Then I became all about it.
Yeah. She's my favorite. I love her. I'm thrilled she's still healthy.
And Gentlemanly Thoughts is here. Gentlemanly Thoughts, I don't know how long you've been around, but you've missed some incredible showcases by Noble Dwarf tonight, let me tell you.
My puppies are here in all the racket. They want to come see what's going on.
Feel free to invite them in. So what are we going to do next together here?
Huh?
What are you and I going to do again together?
Well, we've got that hype map and the winter coloring I am definitely looking forward to. Sorgood wants you to do... well, there's like 5 things we want. It's a problem. You're too busy. Sorgood wants you to create the map for our city of Mistrak, which is an entire desert region controlled mostly by Dragonborn. And so, like your beautiful desert maps you did in the shape of the scarabs, we want a dragon head city or some kind of dragon laid out city that would be an homage to the dragon gods. I want you to create something kind of like what you're working on now, but not that big, for the vampire crypt that you snuck into my city. So there's quite a Faden map projects in the future for Noble Dwarf.
We're gonna have to just carve out time to work together, I think. We're just gonna make it. It's like, you know, this time is Noble Dwarf time, and I reserved 3 months, and we just do things.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I can't wait. I think 21 is going to be good. Our 2 Kickstarters are really going to put us back where we need to be. I think we're going to get back to conventions pretty soon. And hopefully everybody will be healthy and we'll be able to return to some event schedule.
You know, you were mentioning the Dragon City, and immediately my brain, okay, yes, it went to the shapes that we did, like scarab beetles, but wouldn't it be cool if the city was like shaped like a dragon, but almost like clawing its way kind of over terrain, over a hill or a mountain or something, so it was more 3D?
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's why you're the artist. We want to do
like
it.
take the. I mean, the scarab beetles were cool, and they are cool, but make it like dynamic in shape, you know.
Right on. I'm all for it.
Oh shoot! All right. I know what I'm doing second half of this year then.
Yeah, Calendria, I mean, is a full world, so it's like we really do have thousands of cities to do. One day when I'm a millionaire, I will, just say, here, Alyssa, come make maps.
The answer is yes. Yes, no problem. Let's just draw maps all day. No problem at all.
Right.
And Alazilla wants dragon cities. I think the dragon cities are going to be popular. People are down.
to make the drag. John, quit making it more complicated. He said, "How do we make it breathe fire?"
Well, actually, that could be easy, because what if there was some kind of active sort of fissure type of thing going on, where there's constantly steam and things coming out of it, occasionally where maybe it erupts a little bit more often, or more violently. So the city is almost like facing this thing, embracing this thing. We could totally build it in, because then that way you could have like gases as coming away from the city.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, volcano it, says Alazilla. Exactly. Easy breezy.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, it's that's how the ideas come, really, Alyssa, is me chatting with John in that kind of environment. And we accomplish 5 times more when we can see each other. So like if we're zooming, we get way more done than on the phone, and in email we get even less done.
Now, are you two, if you don't mind me asking, are you two like not in the same city then or anything? You live apart?
Well, we live near each other, but I am still out in California redoing my mom's house.
Right,
so
right.
Until I get this construction done, which we just decided to add another 400 square foot on top of what I've already done. So it's like it's just going to continue for the foreseeable future.
You know, this is one way that we could trade out stuff, right? One day you come over here, you live with Jack and I, and for a month you just do building in our place. And then I will just roll maps, so you can convert my garage for me.
I'm all for it. Trust me, that's an easy trade right there. This construction, it's funny. It turned out to be one of the better projects in the world. My grandfather bought this house in 1955 when it was built. So I took it all the way down to the studs, pulled out the bad wiring, the bad plumbing, and have put it back. So it's a family love right here.
I am honestly, seriously impressed by guys like you that can do that. My dad's like you in that respect. And it's like, yeah, this is what it needs. I'm just going to do it. And mad props to the skill that you've got for that. It's liberating, if anything. It frees you up.
Well, I actually took construction in high school, and I built most of the bungalows that the San Diego school system is still using for a couple of years. We just cranked out bungalow classrooms. And then my cousin is a major electrician. Like he's supervising the new LAX terminal. So I learned how to do those kind of things safely and properly, which is the only reason I can have the confidence to do it. You know, it's, you got to be taught the right way to do it. Alizilla, we're in, she's in Victorville, Apple Valley, California. It's on the way to Vegas.
And I won't be, by the way, everyone, I'm not doing any beans tonight because I've got the close-up on Mark. So that's my excuse. I'll do the beans tomorrow. I'll catch up then.
Mark is a wussy and will not do bad beans. No. Have watched that face, and I'm not doing it.
You know, that's something we've got to do. So the next time we have you on, we're going to ship you some beans ahead of time.
Great.
Just in case.
No. I do love the every flavored beans, the grass flavored one. It's like, okay, I can handle that, but
yeah, some of them are just like, okay, so I'm just eating something like that's not good here. And then some of them are like, no, this is outright nasty, and as a human being, I should probably die at this point. Yeah, some of them are just absolutely gross, and we've seen that effect happen on the channel.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, Treeball says you're not a wussy, you're smart.
Yes, I have time to sleep, but that's pretty much all I do that isn't at a keyboard or swinging a hammer. So I like to stay busy. It's just me and the dogs most of the time, so it's pretty nice. Gives me something to do.
All right, so Mark, I'm going to ask you some random questions here.
Uh-oh.
Nothing to do with Noble. Nothing to do with your products. I really do appreciate you sharing, by the way. There's incredible products you've got coming out this year. I think we're all really excited to see them. Let's talk about something else. All right, so you've been in the armed services, and as Wargaming Recon says, thank you for your service. Very much appreciated. What in life is one of your favorite memories?
Standing in the middle of the Colosseum for the first time. When I went to Rome, they used to have a plank that ran down the center of the Colosseum, and you could actually stand in the middle.
Ooh.
And standing there was one of my favorite memories. I was there with my mom, and it was a really good trip. It was a really good trip.
They're rebuilding the floor. Did you know that?
I didn't. I haven't been paying attention, but I know that they've built that one end section. So when I went, it's like they had the end section done and a gangplank so you could walk and stand over. But I think either people were jumping in or throwing in and, ruining.
Yeah.
So last time I went back, they had actually taken the part down the middle so you couldn't stand in the middle anymore. So it was one of those things where some things really are only one-time shots.
I have yet to go to Italy, and I am insanely jealous that you got a chance to do that. That sounds like humbling, I think.
It's my favorite city on the planet. You can feel it. It's just like other places on the planet, most of which are filled with evil, negative energy, and you can feel it still there. The Colosseum was not that way, but it was definitely palpable. It really was. And not just to me, a Rome fanatic, but somebody who the other people who were on the trip who couldn't even care. They were saying that they could feel the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I love Rome. We'll go sometime.
I'll keep you to that. I'll definitely keep you to that. Absolutely. All right, so you've clearly got a huge amount of imagination and a lot of talent. What hidden talents have you got? I mean, okay, so look, you've got a great imagination with everything that you're coming up with so good. You're clearly great as a business owner here, but you're an entrepreneur and you're really sort of pushing hard to work very hard. You could build a house from scratch and everything in it. What other talents have you got?
I am a certified Harley-Davidson motorcycle technician.
Shit. I thought you were going to say fan. I was like, okay, yeah, who isn't? A technician. Where did that come from?
When I first got medically retired from the Army and had no idea what I wanted to be in the world, I went to school for that. And had a lot of fun, got a good education from it. See, hidden talents. I can literally drive anything on the planet. I have been licensed for chemical transport and triples and such for semi driving and tanks and just about every other military vehicle out there. I've had the pleasure of driving down the road at one point or another.
So you've driven a tank?
Yes. And a Bradley and a few other armored vehicles. They're interesting things to do.
But that wasn't your job.
My job, well, I did drive a Bradley for a while as part of my job, but the tank was just cross fun stuff, training and things like that. But I was a ground pounder. I was in the infantry.
Yeah, Magnificent Pex wants to know if you still got the keys to the tank.
Tanks don't have keys. They're push button.
Actually, so on that note, genuine question. Does that mean that if you found the tank in the zombie apocalypse, you would literally be able to start it?
Yes. If it was in running condition, yes. I would know how to start said vehicle.
Is it like, I'm not going to ask for you to reveal any secrets here, but is it like literally a combination of keys that you got to press? Or you just
No,
need to know what to
there's
press?
a special for a lot of military vehicles, not the tanks, but for a lot of military vehicles, it's just a standard toggle switches, but you have to move two of them in a certain way, and then if it's a diesel, you got to wait for the glow plugs. But it's not anything hidden. It's just they don't have keys, so that if you run up and I'm wounded, you're not patting me down looking for the keys to start the vehicle. You can just get in and go. So it's like in the motor pools, they have padlocks on them to keep idiots from stealing them. But as far as when they're in use, they're just easy starts.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Pex is like, yeah, so that doesn't make it a no.
Well, it's the universal key is a giant set of bolt cutters. That's the key that I have for the zombie apocalypse.
All right, so I'm gonna actually grab one of the books here. Mark, you've seen me grab these books. The 3,000 questions, and this one happens to be what if. I want you to give me a number. What between 1 and 3,000?
1,278.
1,278. Oh, there we go. Okay. What if you got 3 wishes, but couldn't ask for money, fame, or health?
That's too funny. So, I took a year and a half of driving truck after the military, before the Harley. And that was actually one of my favorite daydreams, is trying to figure out what I would do for 3 wishes. So are you ready?
Okay, yeah. Okay, you're prepared for this one. Yeah, hit us with it.
So the first is I would want to be immortal like in Highlander.
Oh, so that interesting.
If I ever got tired of it, I had a way out, but that I didn't have to worry about any of the other problems. So that was number 1.
Well, stop there. Why do you want to be immortal?
That's a funny answer, because I don't. If we were stuck in this right now, I sure wouldn't. But if I could live to get off of Earth, oh yeah, I'd want to be immortal for that. To get to go into deep space and to get to step on other celestial bodies, I would want to be immortal for that.
All right. No, I can really understand that. It's like there's so much out there. There's so much wonder to see. You want to see it.
Yeah, I hate tropes where they make vampires be tired of life after a few thousand years. Are you kidding me? 1,000 years is less than 10 human lives. And you're telling me that, and those 10 human lives would be from now all the way back from before Cleopatra. You're telling me you got bored? You're a putz. Like, you're a putz. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be that I could use 100% of my brain, like they pictured in that John Travolta movie. Oh God, that just went out of my head.
Yeah, I know the one you're saying, but I can never pronounce it. Come on, someone in the chat, you know it.
Yeah, I think it was Phenomena.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
But it gave him telekinesis, and it gave him, the ability to comprehend new languages and moments. And so it's like, those are the 2 wishes I care about the most. And then the third one would be to be able to give and take those 2 powers to other people.
Interesting. I think you've just become a minor god.
Well, you don't want to live forever alone. And you certainly don't want to live forever surrounded by idiots. So if you could make them smarter and keep 1 or 2 companions along your journey, life would be good.
So apparently Princess Strega would wish for her skin and organs to be impenetrable. Okay. So you're a superwoman now. I'd wish to be able to state a place, snap my fingers and be there. Teleport ability. That would be kind of cool. And I'd wish to be able to state a time and snap my fingers and be then. So time travel. Not that you people have given any thought to what 3 wishes you would have.
Yeah, Alice, that's exactly. Too many idiot snacks running around. That's a good question, though. But most people haven't really had the time to think about that. But when you're driving from California to New York twice a week,
you think about a lot of things, huh?
You can only listen to a Harry Potter book so many times. You can only, you know. So it took a lot of time to get to those wishes. But I remember as a kid, the after school special where the kids wished for all the money in the world, and all the money in the world comes into their garage, and then somebody came up and said, well, we're broke and we need money, and they're like, well, here, take some, and then it flew right back into their garage because they had asked for all the money. Then anything anybody tried to pretend was money would also come into the garage because it's now money, right? So it taught me as a young age, you got to really word out those wishes or you're going to get caught by Rumpelstiltskin in the detail.
It's a little bit like the old-fashioned D&D wish. It's like the GM would sit there. How could I trick you with it? I think the simpler you can be, the more powerful it can be.
Yeah. So that's...
And Dalius is also going immortal, invisible at will, and give and take these powers.
Yeah, see, that's the one right there. The thing with the immortal you got to be careful of, though, and that's why I said, like in Highlander, so I could kill myself, because there's a Twilight Zone where this couple asked to live forever, but they never asked to be healthy. They didn't ask for eternal youth, so at the end of it, the whole universe is disintegrated, and you've got these 2 husks of people floating through the blackness, still alive. And it's like, you've got to try and close every single loophole in a wish.
Yeah, that's like a Twilight Zone situation right there, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Pex is going simple. Bring back the barter system, which would be kind of cool, actually. I love the simplicity of the barter system. Make diets obsolete, and have weekly D&D games with all prep work done for him. So there you go. And Ala just wishes for consistent D&D games. I know. And Gentlemanly Thoughts wants unlimited wishes. Yeah. Green Luton wants teleportation. And Master Blacksmith. Look at that. Master Blacksmith. That's an interesting one. I like the cut of your jib on that.
Have to be able to create. Well, what are your 3 wishes, Miss Peyton?
Oh God, I'm almost the opposite of you, Mark. In that I've not given any thought to my 3 wishes. But I would have to honestly try and craft one. And this is gonna sound really corny, but I think honestly I would want things for the world in that, at least at face value, if I'm going to be put in a corner, I would at least ask for like world peace of some description. Phrased, get rid of hatred, animosity, our tribal nature. I would love to try and dismantle that. I'm not sure I would go so far as to then try and get rid of all disease in the world and get rid of all of this and this and this, because we are a species that's also meant to live and die. The immortal one is interesting, but I really like the way that Princess did it, where you could bounce around time as well, because there's so much in the past I would love to see and witness firsthand. I would love to be able to do that. Although, honestly, I would snap my fingers, I would be back in the Augustan period, and I would probably, get burned at the stake or something, for being a witch. So, knowing my luck. So, having some kind of immortality would probably be a safeguard. Wargaming Recon, that's a sobering one there, my friend.
I was like, That's heavy.
That's real heavy. That is real heavy. Right, Mark, you don't get off that lightly. We've got book 2. Give me a number.
152.
Oh, nice simple number. 152. All right. This is about you. What risk would you take if you knew it wouldn't fail? That's an interesting one.
Oh. I honestly don't have a clue because I don't worry about failure and risks.
I like that answer, though. I like that answer, and I bet Treeball will, too.
Risk assessment isn't actually part of my normal process. Probably should be a couple of times in life, but it's certainly not high up there.
But I think it's one of those things too where you assess the risk and okay, yes, something might fail, there may be, you know, something that goes wrong, but it's like, okay, yeah, it's fine, and you go ahead with it anyway. You know, you assess the risk, you try to manage the risk, but you still do it.
Well, my problem is that my thing with that is that I joined the Army the day I turned 17. My mom signed the paperwork and I was gone. And immediately I was sent to Somalia. And I think at that stage, and when you're experiencing those kind of things and you come to the realization that you're not married to life like other people are, your risk. Like, I know people who won't skydive, who won't, you know, oh my, I couldn't. And it's that fear of the loss. And I'm lucky I don't have that very much.
I would skydive. I haven't skydived in my life, but I would skydive.
I love it. It's phenomenal. It's one of the 2 single greatest things you can do.
I'm hoping it's something that I get to do at some point.
Well, you're in a perfect place for it. I mean, there's so many great jump spots in the Northwest.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. My cousin's up in Washington, and he goes all the time there. And I think that there's something. I think there was a company that was based by that group of falls that's right there at the border by Vancouver and Portland. I can't remember exactly. It's been forever since I've been in that area, but I love jumping. You got to go. And the first time you're strapped to somebody anyway, so who cares? You know, you're along for the ride.
Alazilla is saying that skydiving's okay. Scuba's way cooler, she says. Have you ever scubaed?
Yes, I will actually agree with that 100%. That scuba is better. It's different every time. My first scuba dive, we ran into 2 giant black sea bass that are on the endangered species list.
Wow.
And these things were like huge. I mean, and they're babies and they're giant sea cows basically. So they come right up to you and they're friendly. And I was hooked. Yeah, scuba is the way to go.
True story about me. I've only been scuba diving once, even though I love the concept of it. But it was one of those holiday resorts. I think it was like, Cyprus. Not wasn't Cyprus, but it was, some kind of Mediterranean holiday resort. And you got to sort of just go out into this area, and they take you out in a boat, and they take you to this remote island, but you with a whole bunch of other tourists. And the instructors, while they kind of got you on the edge of the shore, and they went through the usual drill of like how to use everything, they would approximate your weight. They would just look at you, approximate your weight, and give you weights to try and like balance you out. And I always remember my instructor looked at me, got the wrong weight, but then also didn't have the weights anyway on him, and was like, wear this one, you'll be okay. And no kidding, we all went out. And the weight on me was so heavy that I actually sank to the bottom of the ocean, so to speak. And while everyone is this neutral buoyancy and they're just floating around and they're having fun, I was on my hands and knees crawling along the bottom of the ocean. That was my first experience of scuba. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. it kind of ruined the whole thing. And then, of course, I started to panic because I'm stuck to the bottom of the bloody ocean and I can't get up. Every time I swam up and I had to really work at it, it would get to the top and I'd just sink back down again. It was not great.
Yeah, no, that's you can actually get hurt from that. Totally.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm laughing at Pex and his inhabitants are out to murder him. One of my favorite places to dive right here in California, because we can walk right off the beach, and there's a little reef right there. And so at night we do night dives and we go lobster hunting, and you can shine your light to the right and you're seeing the rocks and it's beautiful, and you shine your light to the left and the light is completely swallowed and it is just black, and you cannot help but feel like there is something right outside that blackness. It's pretty fun, actually.
Didn't that scare you?
Well, it did the first time. I mean, but I knew there wasn't there. I mean, I knew that it was all in my head, but it was like, okay, that's pretty dark. But then there's a beautiful place in Honduras where you're diving on these walls and you look over in the abyss and it's dark and it's deep and it's so peaceful. Like, I mean, not to get morbid, but I literally had the thought, if I floated down there and didn't come up, I'd be okay with that.
Wow.
Like, it was that peaceful to look at. And I mean, it was nowhere but it was like, whoa. And once you have that kind of thought too, it's like, okay, there's peace in that blackness. But night diving shark fear blackness is different than that.
We've got a range of comments going on in the chat, including someone that almost drowned. But he does enjoy diving. Good. Would you actually go into space and spacewalk? I imagine it's the same sort of thought process and bravery.
I would love to. I would go on a one-way mission to Mars. I wouldn't mind that being my final act. Yeah, so a spacewalk would be really neat.
I honestly seriously entertained or thought about the whole going to Mars too, one way. But there's certain things I would want to take with me that that they just wouldn't allow you to take with you. It's like, can I take my wargaming armies? No, you can't. We're not taking 2 tons of miniatures with us and your painting supplies. So, like, that side of it kind of sobered me up from that.
Oh, yeah, you did. Well, it's where you have to become rich enough that you can book your own ship.
Right. And which gets back to your I want to live forever so I can actually enjoy the day that we're doing that type of thing.
Yeah, it's like there's no way you're going to tell me I'm going to get bored when I know that the USS Enterprise is out there. It's there. At one day we will slap a 1701D on something. It's going to happen. And so I would love to see that. But I certainly wouldn't want to live through this same miasma of whatever an individual lifespan is, whether it's now or in the 20s or 100 years ago. If you're looking at that span and you're estimating it, you would stay there forever. Oh yeah, eternity would get boring quick. I mean, we've already burned through everything to watch on Netflix.
Princess Draco wants a lunar colony so she can go to the moon. And Alex Vixen apparently has no natural buoyancy, so she can't swim.
Wow.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I've never heard of that either. That's sad.
All right, couple more questions, my friend. Couple more questions. Because I think I've got to a good stopping point with my map here. Give me an answer. Oh, give me a number, 1 to 3,000.
2832.
2832, okay. Finding out quite a bit about you tonight. And I don't know if you noticed, but Treebor was like, I liked you already, but now I like you even more.
No, I didn't see that one, but that's good. As long as I'm not boring people.
Okay, this is a would you rather.
Ah.
Would you rather walk on broken glass? That sounds painful. Well, it doesn't say shoeless, but walk on broken glass or over a floor covered in Legos.
Oh, well, that's silly. Legos.
Yeah, I'm going to read the
It's
one
gonna
before
hurt,
it.
but it's not going to damage the skin like a glass is. Let's pick a different one. That's kind
Give
of.
me a number.
1542.
1542. Yeah, it's like, would you walk on broken glass or Legos? Come on. Okay. All right. Well, this is a simple food one: lasagna or spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I do love a good lasagna, but if I had to pick one or the other, it would definitely be spaghetti, and I would say closer to an angel hair is my preference for that.
I like where you're going with this. Are you a meat sauce guy?
I do. I like a meat sauce. Depending, Mom makes a really cool marinara that I like. Lots of good stuff in there. So it really depends on the day. I'm not a carnivore 100% of the time.
What about the beat of the balls? Would you do that?
Oh yeah.
I love the big, huge fist-sized meatballs that they do. A little bit of spaghetti.
Type meatball, right?
It's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Well, because you can get real flavor in those meatballs. A lot of those little ones, they end up getting the flavor of the sauce, but you don't end up with that distinct flavor. And when you've got something that big in the middle, it's protected. You can get some great flavors.
And I don't know how they do it either, because it's always really succulent meat. It's always it's cooked through. It's nice and crumbly, but yeah, it tastes really good.
Definitely an art to a meatball.
Definitely.
Because I do a great meat loaf, but my meatballs are not like that epic. So something I'll have to improve.
All right, what's your secret for a meatloaf?
Ooh, my secret.
What makes it not a brick of meat?
I use beef and pork mix. I don't ever do a solid beef meatloaf. Just doesn't come through right. And then I use a different egg. I don't use a standard egg.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't use a chicken egg. And
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything other than that. But I don't use chicken eggs for my meatloaf as a binder. So gives it a little bit of a different flavor.
Yeah, Magnificent Peck says, is it a shark egg?
No, it's not a shark. It's 100 quail eggs. I sit there and crack all
little. That is a dedicated meatloaf guy right there. Well, look, everyone, if you've got any more questions for Mark, now's the time to ask them. I've finished this room here. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough. We've got this room done. I've got these 3 rooms done. They match the description. I believe I've got this room done, although I'm going to have to reread the description to make sure I haven't screwed anything up. So we're in good shape. When we come back to this tomorrow, I'm going to work on this section right here. Let's just hit save. I'm going to work on this section here, which, if my memory serves, I think this is some kind of, I want to call it almost a bedroom or something, which is kind of weird. I don't know what's in these side rooms, but we're gonna play around in there. I don't want to say we're making stupid progress, but we're definitely making progress with it.
God, it's beautiful.
What gave me recon? I thought ostrich eggs too.
I like. I'm not going to answer.
No, he's not going to answer.
Or not. So.
But no, it's got some good colours, I think, and we're only really scratching the surface on this one. I haven't done this side yet, but I think there's definitely sections of this that are going to be really nice. Like I would love to see them either on canvas or get them on a cup or something. I don't know. And Mark, were you in the chat when we were actually doing the statue of the bunny?
Yes, I saw. I didn't see where it ended up, but I saw you drawing it. So it's actually in the center on a bloody plinth. I love it.
Yes. Because this whole area, and Gary Gygax wrote this himself, this whole maze area is just meant to be a waste of time. There's like nothing in it.
Right.
There's no description. I don't know if Frog Gods are going to change that at all. But we decided, well, we'll add something. And the chat came up with the idea of having a bunny. So
it's a good MacGuffin.
We've got a bunny. And over here on the other side, we've got a dead Zack. Because every map has to have a dead Zack. You know, what we'll have to do, if you send me some pictures of your potion bottles, we'll actually have to get them in the map somewhere. Just as an Easter egg.
Oh, for sure we can do that.
Yeah, let's do it. When you come back from your trip, send them across. We'll make sure that they're liberally sprinkled around. Get some Easter eggs going in. Noble Dwarf Easter eggs.
Nice. Sounds great.
All right, look, Mark, I know that you've got a 15-hour drive ahead of you. And I want to give you plenty of opportunity to do that, man. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And for one last time, March 2nd, big Kickstarter for the Noble Dwarf folks. I'm going to zoom in on Mark. Hold up again what you're going to be releasing over there. You've got the... hold up your potion bottle that you've just had in from your last Kickstarter. Just give folks an idea. This is like a magic 8 ball, but it's a magic 20 ball, okay? Random potions on that one. That was their last Kickstarter. They're shipping 1,000 of those suckers out, even as we speak.
So happy.
their next Kickstarter is just gonna be nuts. I'm gonna show you this if I've still got the video up. It's not that one. It's not that one. I didn't close your video. No, I didn't close the video down. Yes, I did close the video down. But this is their next Kickstarter right here. It's the Magical Draft of Malice. March 2nd. We've got the 20 potions of Malice. Look at this. Look how gorgeous it is. Shake it. Get a random potion. Then they're going to have the potion as a good potion. That's the stretch goal. Then they're going to have the big D20. So watch out for that. March 2nd. Put it in your calendars, folks.
Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate it. It's been real fun hanging out with you and everybody else.
Thank you for being with us. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Honestly, every quarter or so, we need to get you back down here just to take a look at what you're going to create next, because you're doing some stunning things that no one else is doing, and I think we all need to see what's next for Noble Dwarf.
Right on. Thank you.
All right, now for everyone in the chat, I'm going to be back tomorrow. We're going to continue with the Necropolis map. We'll pick a room, we'll read the description, and we'll draw it. I might, by the way, do this one next, because it's literally meant to be a carbon copy of this one, which makes things really easy. So we might do that one, and we'll just go from there. So join me tomorrow, and we're going to continue this one. Until then, all of my Patreon supporters, all of my Twitch subscribers, thank you so much. You really do empower me. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, everyone had fun hanging out with Mark tonight. Until tomorrow, I'll see you on the flip side. Night, everyone. Everybody. Night, Mark.
Night.